my house flooded, and let's make sure it doesn't happen to you. Let's make sure that you're at least covered.
Hey guys, Chris Durham here with Fathom Realty, and I'm super excited to speak to you once again. Guys, today I want to talk to you about something really important, guys, and that is home insurance. Some people wish nothing would ever happen to them. They are never going to get a leak. They're never going to have any type of accident at the house. They're never going to have a fire. They're never going to have any of these things, right? And so a lot of mistakes that I see, especially first-time home buyers making, is going cheap on insurance. Let me tell you, I made the mistake and I learned the hard way. And I'm going to show you some pictures of something that happened to me and my family. Long story short, because of the nature of real estate, we work by 1099, so sometimes a little bit hard to get a loan. And when we bought our house a few years ago, I was just starting out. So I made enough money to buy a home to qualify for our home. But the way we had to show it was a little bit different than the majority of people who have, a regular, type of job. They're getting paid W-2. They're getting their paychecks weekly or bi-weekly. And we made the mistake, and we knew to go ahead and activate, but just to let you know what we did, because we need to really make the numbers work so we could get the loan. We did a water exclusion, so a water damage exclusion. Basically, we weren't covered for water damage, and I knew in the back of my head, but with the excitement of getting in, moving all the stuff, honestly, completely forgot to go ahead and add it after we closed. And we had a leak. We had a pinhole leak, and honestly, as my wife was cleaning, she moved some furniture, and she saw that the floor, the wood laminate, was bubbling up. The walls were wet. The baseboard was soaked, and I saw that, and obviously, I basically was able to just put my finger and create a hole in the drywall. Upon doing that, we found mold back there. Well, because we had the water exclusion, any mold caused by water damage was not covered by the insurance. So we had to obviously cut out the wall, we had to replace the flooring, and we had to fix the plumbing on our dime. Now, gratefully, it wasn't too much. We were able to do it. I did a lot of the stuff myself. Got some people to do the drywall after we took it all out. Me and my buddy fixed the plumbing, and I took out the flooring. And then we had a company put in the flooring. They put in the drywall, and then me and my wife painted the house again. So it wasn't too bad. But obviously it could have been a lot worse. And honestly, we could have probably got a lot more out of the insurance. We could have probably redone almost our whole house because the wood laminate was extinct. So instead of just doing one room, since our whole house is the same wood laminate, probably would have got the whole house done. It would have been repainted. It would have been a lot less time consuming. We did have to move out. They would have paid for a hotel room, etc., etc., etc. So this is why it's important to have good insurance, right? Because you never know. And honestly, we got lucky that we caught it early. We were able to take out the mold because it wasn't too bad, and we were able to get it fixed at a reasonable price. But imagine we were on vacation, this happened, or it was anything else. It was a fire, fire we had covered. But this is why it's important to actually have these coverages. Why it's important not to go cheap on the insurance. Now, maybe you could do what I did, all right? Go ahead and just to qualify, boom, take some stuff off, but just make sure that you actually add the insurance right away, because you never know when anything's gonna happen. And if you own a house, something is going to go wrong. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So it's definitely something you want to do, right? So look through that policy. Some things you want to look for, obviously, are what does it cover? Take a look at the insurance and see how easily they cover insurance, right? Because some insurances are going to fight you along the way. You might want to get a public adjuster if something did happen. Number two, look at your deductible. You want a decent deductible. Obviously, you don't want a high deductible because you don't want, if you have a $5,000 deductible and the damage that's caused costs you, $4,000. It's only going to cost $4,000 to fix this. Well, guess what? You got to eat the whole cost, right? So sometimes it's worth paying more in the insurance aspect, because I tell you, when something does go wrong, it can be costly. Like I said, me and my wife, we got really lucky that we caught it early on. Only the damage to a portion of the house, only a portion of the floor, and it wasn't a huge leak. It was a pinhole leak, which was probably leaking for maybe about, I want to say, maybe a few weeks or so. And so if you're buying your first home, this is something not to overlook, and it's so easy to overlook, especially if you're on that brink of qualifying or not, or insurance can make or break it depending on the condition of the house. make sure you get a good insurance. Make sure it's got good coverage. I do work with insurance agents now because I've learned my lesson. I've learned that you do not want to go cheap on certain things. Why? Because if you go cheap now, it will usually cost you in the long run. So I just want to be able to help you out. I hope this was able to help you out just a little bit. And just to make sure that you really, really get good coverage, because I said, if you're buying your first house, if you're using your savings to buy this house, you might not have that much liquid cash after closing. And if something does happen, I've known people, I'm going to tell you one more story before I go, that they bought their house. I mean, everything was completely remodeled. Completely remodeled. They had insurance, thank God. Completely remodeled, new flooring, new paint, new everything, new appliances. I mean, it was from top to bottom redone. Well, they went on a vacation, and the only thing that wasn't new was the washer and dryer. And actually, I believe on the inspection report, which we talked about, was the washer hose was a little bit worn out. Best to replace it. So I figured, okay, they replaced it after closing. This is maybe a month or two after they moved in. Well, they never replaced it. While they were on vacation, the hose burst. The whole house flooded while they were gone. The only reason they were able, it wasn't as bad as it was because the maintenance person in their community was a condo. They were on the first floor. Thank God, because it could have done damage to the floor, to the levels below them. Saw water rushing out their front door and took initiative in his own hand, and he shut off the water. They received the call when they were coming back from vacation, and lo and behold, their whole house was destroyed. And so, insurance is important because it doesn't matter it doesn't matter how remodeled your house is, things inside the wall, plumbing, piping, all these things can go wrong, and you do not want it to go wrong and not be covered. So, guys, this is Chris Stern with Fathom Realty. I hope this was hope this was helpful at all. And like I said, if there's anything I can do for you guys, always reach out to me. I'm always here to help. Have a great day.